your ball in the trees and then you live out the puck. But if you've got a little time, then come and spend it with us. 'Cause now you're listening to the Rough Cut.
Hello, and welcome down to another episode of the Rough Cut Golf Podcast, where you join us on an absolutely momentous day. We are looking back at the Masters, the 89th edition, which will go down in history as one of the greatest ever, as Rory McIlroy finally gets over the line to win a Masters and complete the career Grand Slam. It's been quite the emotional few days, which we will get into. But first of all, I just want to say a huge thank you to the sponsor of this podcast, NordVPN, who have been absolute lifesavers on this trip in particular. So we're in Arizona, we're traveling around, and when we have wanted to watch the coverage, when we've been on the road, we've been able to use NordVPN to access our apps that we watch at home so we could keep up to date with the Masters, so we didn't miss a thing, certainly during the first few days. Now, NordVPN, they are sponsoring this podcast, and they have a deal for you as well. So if you use the link nordvpn.com/roughcut, you can get a 24-month contract with 4 extra months free. There's no risk with a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. So we've all been using it. We've been absolutely loving it. So if you do want to check NordVPN out, nordvpn.com/roughcut.
Yeah, it's been one of those things where you don't really realise how good we've got it with the, with regards to sort of TV coverage when it comes to the golf, and being over here in the US has kind of like opened our eyes a little bit to it. So yeah, thank you NordVPN for that.
Yeah, thank you. You literally saved us a bit. And we will get into a little bit of the Masters coverage maybe, but we are going to be doing a full review. I think first of all, I want to apologise a little bit if I do come across as slightly groggy. We celebrated vigorously yesterday, and it didn't end well for me. The hazy IPA of Scottsdale hit me hard.
Those 7%ers did take their toll.
Yeah, it just didn't. It didn't end well.
It wasn't a good combination, but that's fine, because what we saw transcend yesterday probably will... Well, it can never happen again for Rory's sake, because the Grand Slam is now complete. But, it's been... How many years was it?
So it's 10 years, over 10 years since his last major victory. But we all know, if you are interested in golf and you've been following the sport with even a passing interest, you will probably know that Rory needed to win the Masters to complete the career Grand Slam. Now, the career Grand Slam it's something which only very few select people have managed to do. So within golf, within the men's game, I've got this list, you've got Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, and Tiger Woods. So they're the only men to complete the career Grand Slam. And Tiger was the last person to do it in 2000.
2000.
Was it 2000?
Yeah,
when he completed it.
Yeah.
So, it's been quite a while for someone to join the ranks. And with Rory, the thing that really got everyone, and which was, obviously playing on his mind, as he's spoken about, is the Masters for him is the tournament that he should have won countless times. That golf course is practically built for Rory McIlroy's game. So it's been a big talking point for year upon year upon year. And even in his winning press conference, he came out and said, so what are we going to talk about next year?
Yeah.
Because that's all the conversation was. And we spoke about it in the podcast previously. And, Jacob picked Rory as the winner. I kind of picked him as the winner. Kieran didn't, because he doesn't believe in Rory anymore. And we kind of alluded to the fact that this is the year where he needed to do it, because he's playing such good golf, and all his nearest competitors didn't get off to the great start in the year. So this was the one. This was it. And boy, oh boy, did he do it.
Yeah.
He did, and he did it in what we can only probably describe the most Rory McIlroy fashion possible. We knew whatever point it was never going to be easy, how many ups and downs, lefts and rights there were throughout the whole 4 days. was just it. You no at no point, and I mean you can never be with Rory, but at no point were we ever comfortable of like this is going to happen because we've been down this road before. We've seen him lose Masters from winning positions. We've seen him come up leaderboards, and just the way that final day played out in what, like say, can only be described in the most dramatic of ways. It was one of those we said before it started, where if you knew how he was going to do it and you knew that he was going to win, this is the way you'd want it to be, because it was so entertaining and it was so dramatic, and it will go down as probably one of the best Masters in the last decade. And the fact that he comes out on top, but boy was it not difficult viewing for many moments.
I would have wanted him to do it differently.
Oh, really?
If I'm going to be honest with you, like there's a few things that we need to remember, because, like, aside from the last round, so he shot back-to-back 66s in round 2, round 3, brilliant golf. He's the only golfer in Masters history to have 2 double bogeys in the first round and go on to win.
Yep.
Yeah.
He also had 2 double bogeys
in the final
round.
Yep.
He was 2 clear, and he doubles the first hole. And it was a stinky, rancid double on the first as well. Like, into the fairway bunker, kind of chops it out, whacks it to 15 foot, and then 3 putts. And all of a sudden, that lead is gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone. But, like Rory McIlroy does, hits a fantastic pitch on the third hole, sets up a birdie, gets off to the races, bags a few more birdies, and he's 4 clear after the 10th. The 10th tee shot, by the way. Wow. I don't think I've ever had a bigger cheer for a tee shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we were watching in DraftKings, the pub in Scottsdale, and we celebrated that tee shot, finding the fairway on 10 like a goal.
Yeah.
In a local derby.
It really was. Yeah.
It was unbelievable. If you're not familiar, Rory had a chance of winning the Masters. God, when was it? What year was it? It's back when he was
2014.
2014. It's back when he was playing Titleist, and no, it was before that.
2011. Sorry,
2011,
yeah.
When he was playing Titleist, and he was clear, he should have won, and he snap-hooked it out of bounds on 10. And that's one of the things that probably would have been weighing on his mind, being in a similar position, being with a chance to win, and he managed to find the fairway.
It was the same number of shots clear as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
4 clear on the 10th.
I think, no, he started the day 4 clear. He started the day 4 clear, and then I think he was only 1 shot lead. I think that was what it was.
You call yourself a Rory fan.
I know.
I thought you'd have his whole career down.
All right, yeah, that was what happened. Yes, he shot a final round 80. I didn't want it to sound too blimmin'.
You can say what you want now, because he's won the Masters.
He has.
You can delve into it deeply.
It's crazy.
And he birdied 10 on the final round. It was a very strange one. Hideki Matsuyama did his second shot, where he's knocked it to about 12 foot, but then he dropped his club like he was disgusted.
Yeah.
And we just thought at that moment, oh my God, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He bogeyed 11, got a little bit unlucky. And then on the 13th, he hit one of the worst pitch shots that I've ever seen a pro golfer hit in that kind of situation. Simple shot. I'm not saying I'd back myself to make it.
No, you should. It was that simple.
I would back most single-digit handicappers to be able to pitch that ball towards the middle of the green. And he inexplicably, I'm presuming he necked it a little bit.
Yeah,
had to.
It went off to the right-hand side. It ended up in Race Creek. And he double bogeys 13. And at that point, we are in the bar, practically on our knees, being dragged through this Rory McIlroy roller coaster. We're just desperate for him to win, and he keeps doing something like that. But then on the 15th, he's hit maybe one of the greatest Master shots of all time.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think I honestly think the greatest. I just think it was the magnitude of it, the moment of it, like what that shot then set up to happen in him winning the Masters, or getting himself into the position to win the Masters and make sure that he gets the career Grand Slam. I don't know if there's any better.
No, I think there's... If you think about the certain shot, so you've got Mickelson kind of hitting out the pine straw into 13. That springs to mind straight away. But as far as in that moment, in that pressure, to hit that shot after not having a great time as well.
Yeah.
It was amazing. He didn't make the eagle putt, but he did make a birdie, and that really kind of set him up for the round. He had an amazing birdie on 17 as well to go one clear, going up the last hole.
That was another great shot as well.
It was a brilliant shot. Like, he's played so many fantastic shots in this round, but he's hit so many strange shots as well.
Yeah.
Weird shots. But I think he said himself, like in the interview after, how nervous he was, how he just didn't feel that he had his best stuff like pretty much all day. It was just so to and fro. So as nervous and as emotional that we were getting watching it, God only knows what he must have been going through. Must have been incredible.
Yeah. And I think we were expecting kind of this battle between, obviously, it was definitely built up that it was going to be the Bryson Rory kind of battle, 2-horse race, and we didn't really get that, did we? In the end,
no. Bryson's horse was lame.
Bryson's horse was late. Yeah.
He did not. I mean, we'll speak about Bryson a little bit more, but he was not at the races at all.
Yeah.
Not at all, no.
Which was a bit of a surprise. I think everyone really thought that he'd be able to build on a lot of the momentum from, say, Pinehurst last year when he was kind of head-to-head with Rory as well, but it just didn't work out. The person who did rise to the form, we'll speak about Justin Rose a little bit more as well. He managed to claw himself back. Fantastic final round. Getting to the playoff after Rory, again, hit a crap pitch shot on 18 in regulation into a bunker. Well, pitch shot, like an iron shot, to make a bogey to drop back into the playoff. But in the playoff
crazy
hole, he is a fantastic drive. Hits it past the pin, spins it back, holes a putt. And just the weight of a decade of not winning a major, the weight of a whole career, really not win the Grand Slam. Because we do have to remember, 2014 was when he won his Open. And he's had 10 years sitting on this knowledge of having a chance at the Grand Slam, not getting over the line, not winning majors. Everyone is putting a lot of pressure externally on him because he is such a talent. And he will now go down as, already major-wise, we're talking probably the greatest European player of all time. If you're going to be winning the Grand Slam, you are talking about an absolute legend now in the game, the greatest player of his generation. He has to be. And it was so good to see that weight, to see that pressure lifted, and the outpouring of emotion afterwards was incredible from everyone. Like not just Rory. Him. Like it's a strange kind of situation to be in where, there's millions of people around the world watching that who were just in tears or near tears or just living in that moment with somebody they've never met.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy. It's one of the best things about kind of sport
in general. Yeah, just you can't find these narratives in anything else. And like say, it's a testament to Rory in regards to how people have found this connection and love and desire for him to succeed. There's so many minimal players and people in the world of sport that just the love for that one person just spreads to everyone. Like there's there will be the odd few out there, and if you are a Rory hater or don't like him, I don't really understand, but if you are, then fair enough. But it's just a guy who, this is where the extra element added to it of I can understand, especially from the people of Northern Ireland and, a small country in the world really, and he's now transcended and gone on to do what he's done in the world of golf and for sport in general. It was so good to see, even from my perspective of friends and family and people that never watch golf, and how invested and interested they were. And, I was getting messages throughout the evening and as it was playing out of people, like I say, who don't watch it.
Yeah.
But this was like a moment that it didn't matter that was the case. People knew that the significance of this and what had just happened. And you could say there's certainly enough argument to say that we may never ever see in our lifetime someone else win the Grand Slam.
No, I mean it is a possibility. I mean, it's been a long time since Tiger won, and I don't know. There are a few players who could maybe do. I mean, obviously Spieth's got a chance, for example.
Yeah,
to do it.
Spieth.
Well, yeah, Spieth and Mickelson,
Spieth
but you
and Mickelson
wouldn't
there.
expect Mickelson
You
to.
wouldn't, no, not anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, a few kind of honourable shout-outs for the final round. Justin Rose, incredible final round. I don't know how to put this in a way which is not too condescending, but like Justin Rose is literally, I think, the most popular runner-up of a major in history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not only the way he played on the final round, because he did obviously push Rory all the way, but then obviously the way that he dealt with it afterwards as well. You know, they are friends and Ryder Cup teammates, and I think Justin Rose sometimes is mocked, a strong word, but he's kind of like seen as this ultimate professional, and you know, being all Team Rose and being like the very epitome of what a pro golfer is, I suppose.
Sure.
But actually, he showed that, and like he showed a lot of class. I thought he spoke very well afterwards as well. So, you know, being in this stage of his career and still competing is amazing. But it was strange how he was the one competing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be brutally honest. I think even before the start of the day, I actually said I'd put a line through all the sixes who were 6 under overnight on coming into the final day. I just didn't see any of them coming through like that Rose did. And I mean, that back nine, we had 10 birdies on the day.
Yeah, 10 birdies on the day. It was an unbelievable. Card, yeah.
Like, it was such a shame that he kind of couldn't put something together in those first 2 days. But like, in those middle 2 days. But as you say, like, he quickly became the most popular loser of all time, but then at the same time could have been the most hated winner ever, next to Stuart Sink.
See, that's the thing, and that's why he is going to be a popular loser in this, because when Sink beat Watson in that playoff for the Open, there was no upside for him, apart from being a major champion, but everyone now remembers that as the major that Tom Watson didn't win.
Yeah.
I think Lee Westwood got off lightly with that as well, by the way. But for him, if he would have denied Rory, man, that'd have been so tough.
Yeah, and it's a shame as well, because any other year, especially our side of the pond, like, Rose would have been an incredibly popular winner.
Well, yeah, we were cheering him on at the Open, and obviously like the PGA as well last year. Like,
you add on to the fact that obviously now this is the second time, after losing to Sergio as well. It's I almost, to be honest, I almost kind of forgot a little bit, and then I got reminded. I think it was because I had a bet on Sergio that year, so I think I was happy that he won, but
everything else didn't matter.
Everything else didn't matter, yeah. Which was the kind of thing we found out in the DraftKings bar we're in.
Weren't you too young to be betting at that point?
No, I was at university.
Yeah, with 2017, so you'd have been 19.
Yeah. So yeah,
well, started him young.
I was calling them from a young age. I did Willett and Garcia back years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's impressive. Did you win $4.5 million?
I did not win
Rory?
I wish I won $4.5 million.
I think we're over here with Golf Breaks in Arizona, and David Ford, who's kind of been with us all week. He raised a good point, and this is true. Like, this is a record payout as far as the winning of a major, of the Masters. Yeah. And nobody's talked about it. Like, I've not seen anybody really talk about the money side of things, be bothered about the money side of things, because this was something that it was so about the money. It's unbelievable. Like, if you I know Rory isn't struggling. Like, let's face it, like, he's going to be okay. But if you'd have said to Rory, you're going to win the Masters, but you won't win any money for it, like, he'd have obviously snapped everyone's hands off for it. Because at this point in his career, it is about that history, it's about that legacy. And it is, it's fantastic. But Bryson is the one that I think... I mean, I don't know if I'm disappointed, because I really wanted Rory to win. But I kind of thought Bryson would be pushing him a lot more. Maybe just because of what happened at Pinehurst. And I think maybe in our heads we thought we were going to see 2.0 of that.
Yeah, I think that we were going to see that, Bryson clearly sort of thrives on moments like this, where whether he's leading or whether if he's trailing, he's going to be there. He's a brilliant competitor, but just didn't have it. Didn't have it all. Didn't have it on that Sunday.
I mean, he didn't really have it during the week as
All
well.
week, yeah.
It wasn't like he was playing incredible golf all week. He just managed to get himself into contention by grinding a little bit.
His short game.
Yeah.
Scrambling, putting,
Unbelievable.
chipping, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I mean,
Holding out from bunkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, bit of a shame, but it was a bit strange in his interview afterwards, which was cropped. So they did an interview about playing with Rory, and Bryson just said how Rory didn't speak to him all day on the golf course. And it was kind of clipped in a way to make it almost feel like he was really kind of annoyed with it. But I think the full interview was a bit better for Bryson, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I watched the whole interview and I thought like every other answer and description he gave to the questions was like pretty upbeat and pretty not positive. It was positive and fairly upbeat given the fact that he'd had not the day he was expecting. But I still think his like the way he reacted to it was a little bit like, I don't know why he didn't talk to me, and a bit sort of. I don't know. I actually found it a little bit standoffish in the way that he responded to it, and sort of kept saying the same thing of like, "Oh no, he didn't talk to me. He didn't talk to me." Which, you know, obviously he even said like, "Oh, that's not me," which is fine. Like that cannot be you, and you if you want to talk. But then you know, there's an understanding of that this guy's trying to win a Masters and he's trying to win a Grand Slam. I don't think he wants to talk to you. Obviously, there's the whole Tiger Tony situation of when Finau got on the tee and asked about how the kids were, and he realised very, very quickly that Tiger was not in the mood to talk.
No.
And you wonder and you think like this kind of thing, and I think maybe you alluded to it when we were speaking about it before, but like, would this have been a thing if it was Tiger Woods that we were talking about here? Like, if Bryson and Tiger would play together and he just said, "Oh, you know, he didn't talk to me," that I don't think anyone would have even batted an eyelid.
No, and it is different how kind of people approach it. I think the story, and I hope I get this right, but it was Claude Harmon who I think went on to win the Masters the next year, but he had a hole-in-one on 12. Mm-hmm. And he was playing with Ben Hogan. And Ben Hogan was so locked in that he asked Claude on the 13th tee what he'd had on 12.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I
Okay.
really hope that's true, and I hope I've got everyone. I know it was Hogan who said it. I'm pretty sure it was Claude Harmon.
Okay.
So it depends on like how you go about your business, like
Yeah.
how locked in you are to your own game.
And I think, I mean, we were talking, you know, in the build up to the final day where there was a genuine opportunity where it could have been a McIlroy-Lowry partnership.
Yeah.
And you're obviously looking at that and thinking, oh, well, from Rory's perspective, playing with his best friend on the tour will be, you would assume, a positive thing. But I don't even think they would have really spoken at all.
No.
You know, Rory was there to do a job, and albeit a job that everyone has expected him to do, and one that he should have done years before. And he, you know, he's not. It's not exactly like it's not well documented that, you know, Rory and Bryson get on really well, and you know, obviously the backlash of Pinehurst and going up against each other, and even stemming back to obviously like Liv and him going off, and Rory's understanding and his beliefs about that. You know, these two, I don't think these are people that necessarily are very good friends. So why there should be an assumption that you would talk and get on in a round to try and win the green jacket is a little confusing from my perspective. But again, I think actually in that interview, Bryson did come across well in, you know, after what had happened that day.
Like it's fine. Like Bryson has just lost the chance to win a major.
Yeah.
He's not going to be full of sunshine and rainbows, is he? So yeah, it's fine. I think it's a bit to do about nothing, really.
Okay. Well, that's true. I mean, this of course has just like absolutely broken off like shackles from Rory in regards to now finally winning the Grand Slam and winning a major. And we've always said and always felt there's a belief that once he's done this, it's going to just open the floodgates. So my question really now is, how many more majors do you think Rory is going to win?
So what's he on? I mean,
He's on 5.
On 5 now.
I mean, let's give him like a day to celebrate before we like start talking about it, I suppose. So he's on 5. I think realistically, if you were to look at Rory and say, if he played with the shackles off, he's got another 5 to 8 years of being on top of his game.
35 now.
I would say he gets to 8.
Okay, so 3 more.
I would say 3 more.
Now, Do you think that all three are going to come this year? Because I think a lot of people do.
I mean, it does set up for him, doesn't it? So we've got the USPGA at Quail Hollow,
Loves it.
which is a venue I'm pretty sure he's won at 62 times.
Yeah.
And then we've got the US Open at Oakmont. I don't really know what his history is there,
But loves the US Open.
Loves the
or
US
has
Open.
finished very well in the US Open.
And then we have the Open at Portrush. So in the island of Ireland, he's going to be going back. You could see the last time he was there when he missed the cut, like how emotional he was on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to play into it a little bit if he gets a bit overstimulated. I think
Sure.
it's the psychologist term. But you would say that this year he's probably going to be favourite going into the USPGA. He's probably going to be favourite going into the majors. He's had an incredible start to the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's just winning now.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't see why he wouldn't be favourites. And all these competitors are playing good golf, but they're not at his level. Like he's the best player in the world right now.
Yeah.
I think that's something from this week was one of my biggest takeaways. Obviously, the golf is there, and he knows that the golf has never been the issue. It's always been the mental side of it, especially in the Masters. You know, he, has always tried to. He's always always said that he's looking around and he's always like checking the scores and making sure that he's keeping pace. Whereas this year he just went out and just did it, and he just went out. The first day he was level par. The next day shot a brilliant 66. That was a fantastic mental. We were saying sort of on the Friday, what's good here for Rory, and we were saying like a 2-3 under, and turning it into a 66 was just fantastic. So, and we sort of saw on that final day, the amount of water he drank on that final day was
Wow.
was pretty wild. Clearly these are techniques that he's tried to implement, I imagine. So yeah, I think that's something that was really, really big for him.
So how many majors is he going to win?
If he
keeps drinking water.
He's going to get double figures for sure. I think
For sure.
For sure.
for sure he's going
sure.
to get. He's
For
going to
sure.
get. Yeah, he's going to.
It's just taken him 10 years to get his fifth, and now you're saying he's going to get double figures for sure.
I think that certainly my opinion on it, that I think that Rory's hardest win would be the next one, which was this one. His fifth major was always going to be the hardest because of all the, all the build up and all of the, nearly wins and second places and drop offs and meltdowns and all that. Like the next one was going to be the hardest, and now, as Rory said, what we're going to talk about now, he's now going into any event like you said, Jacob, of he's just got no shackles. Like he's just going to go out there and do what he has to do.
The fact that the fifth was the Masters as well.
Oh, exactly.
I do think that if he'd won the US, there would have been a relief from all sides in regards to that Rory McIlroy is back to winning majors. But that Grand Slam, shackles, as we keep saying, they're still on. So the fact he's now ticked both off in winning his fifth and winning the Grand Slam, it does feel like there will be some kind of just complete freedom going into these majors, in that he can attack and he can go for it, and he can, if he doesn't win, he doesn't win. But that doesn't matter because he's a Grand Slam, the sixth person ever to win the Grand Slam. He's got 5 majors to his name. You can only imagine that just mentally now going into any major moving forward, will be in the best position possible as long as his game holds up to how it is right now. There's, you would imagine he's not officially number one in the world, but he's getting there, and you'd imagine in 3-4 months, if things still go the way they are, he will be.
Yeah, and I think that it also depends on how much. What does it mean to him in terms of, like, does he want more majors? Does he want that, or is it that?
Yeah,
I know he does, but how hungry is he going to be now? Because he clearly sort of stated that he wanted to win the Masters, he wants to win a gold medal, and he wants to win a Ryder Cup on away soil. Like, that's kind of his mindset of what he wants to achieve. Like, how much is he going to really want to keep going? But I think he's going to. I think he's going to do 10.
Yeah, I just think for a sportsman and a professional of that magnitude and that level, his mindset would never waver. There was I watched a bit of Golf Channel coverage after, and a little bit this morning as well. And they asked a similar question to McGinley, and he kind of raised the same point of, could this now just almost settle him in that sort of drive and passion of winning, and is that going to settle him down now, and he's going to sort of lose that momentum of wanting to do it? But I just think to do what he has done, you can't not have that. And he's a ultimate professional, ultimate sportsman. You don't get into these positions if you then start to relax and feel like you've done enough. I don't think they ever feel like they ever have done enough. Do you feel like you've done enough, Pete? You've got more to achieve in the game?
I mean, I've not even won a single major yet.
What would be your little 3 list? He wanted a Masters and another away win, a Ryder Cup win, and the Olympic gold medal or Olympic medal.
I mean, getting through open qualifying first stage.
Okay,
it's pretty big.
Okay, that's one tick.
Then
Stage.
Then second stage probably.
The second thing.
And then
Leeds Cup,
and then playing in the
Manchester
Open.
winning the Disney Open.
You want a Leeds Cup and Manchester Open?
Listen, if the Leeds Cup would be massive,
Yeah,
I would love to win the Leeds Cup. Actually winning a proper 2-day PJ event would be nice.
There you go. Yeah.
There
Win
you
the
go.
Leeds Cup. I like it.
I probably need to write down some goals. Right. Anyway, let's head to a quick break, and then we're going to talk about Augusta in a little bit more detail.
So, would you guys say that the Masters is the best major out there?
That's a very, very strong call, Kieran. I mean, it is one of 4.
Wait, is that a question or a statement?
It's a question and a statement.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So you believe that?
I think I do, and Rory saying it live on the press conference also kind of just made me think, do you know what it is?
I mean, he is going to say it, don't he? He's just won it.
Well, he is going to say that, but he was.
Imagine what he's going to be at the USPGA. He's going, the USPGA is the greatest major of them all.
Quail Hollow is the best golf course in the world.
I've always said it. Well, I mean, you've got. I think we're all in agreement. USPGA is bottom of the pile as far as majors.
Yeah, stinky.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
And then for me personally, it would then go US Open, Masters, the Open as number 1.
Yeah.
But having said that, I could understand the argument, and I could be convinced to say that the Masters is the best, just because of kind of what it represents. As far as it represents the start of the golf season, it represents a tradition like no other. It is somewhere.
We're gonna get bloody copyright for that.
Yeah, it's somewhere where we go kind of every year. You know the holes, you know the layout, you know the format, you know the prize, you know the feeling that you get when you see the winner slip on that green jacket, what it means to them. You get the champions dinner, you get all these little things that just make it super, super special. Now, for me, the Open is still the best because it's played on links. It's genuinely something different. And it has an incredible amount of history to draw upon.
Yeah.
It has legacy to draw upon.
But so does the Masters.
Yeah.
So does the Masters.
I think I'm with you. I think there's all these little branches that the Masters has that no other major has, and like you say, the ceremony after of going to the cabin and getting the jacket and taking it back outside, and like you say, the champions dinner. There's just a whole event around the Masters, where obviously compared to the other majors where you kind of really invested and really full on for 4 days, but it doesn't quite feel like it. And I think the only real I think the Masters and the Open are the two really that you could make an argument for, because it's a feeling of when you're watching it. And I think especially, I mean, even something for me with the Open, when you're watching the Open and the TV coverage and you get the graphics and the colours of the Open, and
it's the
scoreboard, and just those are those extra things on top of the golf. And I definitely agree with what you said, Pete, in regards to playing it on links golf courses. To me, makes it the best golfing spectacle. Despite loving Augusta, and you know what you're getting, and you know every year. Well, you say every year it's going to be the same. They keep making it longer and longer, but point still stands. You know exactly what you're getting. With the Open, you feel like the test of golf and the quality of golf that you have to play around those types of courses is slightly higher than what you might need to do at Augusta. Not to say that it's an easy thing to do, as Rory's proven. But I think I might give it to the Open. I think I actually might give it to the Open. I think that being an Open champion and champion golfer of the year on one of the golf courses that they play in their rota, I think is a more incredible achievement to do than winning a Masters, which might be a pretty blasphemous thing to say. But
what do you think? What do you want, Kieran? A jacket or a jug? Or do you want more?
Oh, that is tough, because the claret jug, I think, is a but also the green jacket is also a great.
Yeah, that's the question. Like,
both those two things.
You can only have one.
Similar.
Like, you just don't repeat it back to me.
Oh God,
jacket or jug?
I'm gonna go for the jacket. I am gonna go for the jacket. I think the thing that stands out for me the most of it is that obviously the way that the tournament's run, in terms of we are in a world where technological advancements, corporate sides, sponsorship and all this sorts of stuff can raise prices of ticket sales and all this sort of stuff, and food prices when you're actually in the event. Like the fact that Augusta every single year keeps the prices the same. There's no phones, there's no running and all this sorts of stuff that it's just quite nice that while
No running.
You know what I mean? I thought, I don't know.
No, I'm with you though.
But it's just something that it's just incredible, and it's very very cool.
I mean, they can afford to keep the prices down though on food, because they make $70 million in the shop in the week.
I know.
$70 million. Oh my! Oh, thank you for keeping your egg salad prices down. Oh my God, thank you. All praise the masters. They've just made $70 million selling T-shirts. They're all right.
Yeah, I know they are doing absolutely fine.
Mixing some pimento cheese and selling it for $2.50. It's all right.
No, I know what you mean.
It's fine.
Well, I know what you mean. But seeing the scenes of yesterday, where obviously the only way that you would actually get to know how the tournament is actually progressing is through the big leaderboards, and everyone's sort of round 18 when they see the Rory being 10 under, and then it goes to 12 under, then back to 10, that kind of
It's one good thing which I do like to see is when you do have photos of the players, of the crowds and everything else, is you see everyone watching the golf.
Everyone's watching the golf.
They've not got, no one's got like a phone in front of their faces, and it's actually quite nice. I must admit, when I went, I thought it was strange. It was a bit weird, but I live a lot of my life on a phone. So to not have that on me, it was strange. And it forced me to talk to people.
Which is not a big...
Which I'm famously happy about. But one of the good things about the Masters is everyone you sat with, like mostly Americans, and Americans are like the easiest people to talk to. So.
Yeah.
I don't think you could do it at British Open.
No.
Sat next to Dave from Southport. God.
You couldn't put your chair down and then come back and ask John to please move out the way.
That's
I'm sat here now.
Yeah, that's
this is my chair now, boy.
It's being stolen or it's blown away in the wind.
Yeah. Don't know where your chair's gone, mate.
No,
wasn't here when I got here.
No, it's got my name on it. It's got Tipex. Off on a complete tangent. So Open, Masters was the best.
Yeah.
And then USPJ at the bottom, which we can all agree on. Unless it does something.
But the jacket is the best. I love the jacket. I love the bit of clothing.
If it could be the jacket and then
with the jug,
with the second thing, like instead of having that sort of,
you get a replica trophy as well.
What? Yeah.
And you get a place in the locker room and an honorary membership of Augusta.
Yeah, I think it's Augusta, just because obviously then what winning the Masters does after that. Obviously, for the Open, from what I understand, you get 10 years.
Oh, is that it?
Is that it? No, but
that it?
But
how much more do you want?
No, but like Rory for a lifetime now. Every Masters, he's going to be involved in the tournament. He's also going to be involved in the Champions Dinner. All these sorts of things that come with being a Masters champion.
What is his Champions Dinner? What is it going to be?
Spoils bag.
Is he
Boys bag.
Spoils bag?
Spoils bag for Irish.
Is he gonna go like proper Irish, or is he gonna have? Because it
Packets of potatoes.
taters.
Yeah.
It's kind of like because I think the best Masters menu ever was Hideki,
Hideki, yeah, I agree.
and I think everyone agrees that. And the worst one was Bubba.
Yeah. But again, that's
Unless
Not-
if you don't like sushi, it's the worst.
well,
but-
yeah, exactly, yeah.
No,
Obviously,
that was all around elite.
The-
No, I know.
on
I'm
Hideki's.
with you.
their cuisine is just obviously fantastic, and yeah.
So the Irish cuisine is maybe not going to make an appearance though.
I'd say that.
Stew.
Yeah, I was gonna say looking at stews,
Yeah, they'll be well fed. They're not going to go. They're not going to like need more because they'll have a lot of like
Stodgy.
stodgy components and stuff like that. So yeah,
As long as I don't see another chocolate chip cookie with ice cream.
Yeah.
and
Fed up with it.
sliders.
Sliders.
That is because we did have John Rahm in the middle of that.
Do you see that? There was a social clip that was, and they asked like, "Oh, what would you have with your pudding if you had it?" And the number of chocolate chip cookies with ice cream. Don't get me wrong, I love a chocolate chip cookie with ice cream, but you have all the puddings.
Don't you get me wrong. Don't you get me wrong. I love it.
You have all
Don't
the
get me wrong.
pudding. Don't get me. Don't
Don't
put
get
words
me
in my
wrong.
mouth.
Don't get me
Don't hear what
wrong.
I'm not saying. You have all the puddings in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could make a
cookie.
great chocolate chip cookie though.
Yeah.
Or a
Yeah.
brownie.
No, but no. Oh.
But I know what you mean. I know what
It's
you mean.
just, it's just a fat cookie.
I know what you mean.
Do you know what would you have as your pudding? Do you know?
I mean, I would probably have sticky toffee pudding.
That's the thing. Great though.
With custard,
Yeah.
because it needs to be traditional.
Okay. What you just wouldn't give the option.
No,
But
just-
Bubba comes over.
ice
like,
cream is not
I
an
want
option.
ice cream,
Is
and you're
it-
like, Bubba, shut up.
Is custard that's the tradition?
traditional. Yeah.
Wow.
God. Num 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 num.
I'd have something lemony.
Something lemony.
Something light to finish. Lemon cheesecake.
Yeah, because if we're doing stodgy things starter main, then something nice and light. Yeah.
Anyway, so I mean, the chances of us hosting a Masters dinner is probably quite low.
Creme brulee. Thanks for asking.
Is that what it be? Creme brulee?
Probably. Yeah.
Is that what you set this whole bit up for? So just to go
I
creme
just
brulee?
thought we will give each other a go, but it's all right.
Right. What we will do, though, we will kind of have a chat through our major picks and just get the scores on the board. So Mick isn't here. He's back home at the moment. But at the start of the year, we go through one major draft. So we pick 3 players from, well, whoever we want, as long as the other person doesn't have them. And then the final pick is a player outside the top 50 on the Data World Golf Rankings. Now, what we then do is we award points based on where they finish. So in my team, I had Rory McIlroy, John
How did
Rahm,
he
Colin
do?
Morikawa, and Jordan Spieth. So Rory finished first. So here's a number 1. John Rahm, Colin, and Jordan all finished in a tie for 14th.
Yeah.
By the way,
Crazy.
I think in the 3 years we've been doing this, I think that is the lowest.
I think it is,
the
yeah.
lowest score.
So that gives me a score of 43 now. At the end of the majors, it's the person with the lowest score who wins. Mick had Ludwig, Cantley, Lowry, and Rose, which is a 7, a 36, a 42, and a 2 for 87.
I tell you what, if Lowry's sticking in that 9 over on the final day, otherwise he'd have had a great one as well.
Yeah, that's shocking, didn't he? Jacob, Scotty Scheffler, Tommy Fleetwood, Russell Henley, Sahith Theegala. So that's 4, 21, 53, which is a missed cut. So we just give the number of the players missed cut. And 29 for Sahith, so 107. And propping up the leaderboard with a series of absolute stinkfest picks. Kieran Mulhall, Bryson DeChambeau had 5. Xander Schauffele, who had 8, by the way, crept up.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
And then 2 players who missed the cut. Brooks Koepka, obviously, and Thomas Dietrich, who
Brooks
both had 53. 119 in total.
Brooks was unlucky. Brooks had an 8 on. Brooks
careful.
had an 8 on the 18th hole. He would have been in the cut line.
Yeah, but he had an 8. He had an 8 on 18.
Russell
I
Henley
don't-
had a bogey on the last one. We
Yeah,
made the cut
so
line.
it was playing tough.
It wasn't playing that tough. I don't even know how you have an 8 on the last.
He went out of bounds and then so it was
Wow.
50.
That's not great.
Yeah, 350, and then
Yeah, it was big left.
yeah, big left.
I honestly don't think Brooks makes a cut this year now in the majors.
No comment.
Oh,
No comment.
I mean, if he doesn't make the cut, the PGA, for example, like the PGA for the last decade has just been his little plaything. So if he doesn't make the cut, like your team is just done.
Yeah, obviously I'm banking on Brooks kind of having a what's the
A resurgence.
3/4 end.
A 3/4 end.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It's obviously getting late.
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense.
Well, no, because it wasn't like
You're looking for Brooks to have a 3/4 end.
Well, no, because I wouldn't say the a better second half of the season because it's not. We're not in the. We're still
I
on
see
the
what you
first
mean.
half. So like
right, okay, go.
3/4
yeah, I'm with you.
of the season.
Pulled it out of the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
but
what
I
I mean?
saved it. Stuck the landing.
So yeah.
So we will get more into the major picks in future episodes. There is a major pretty much every month now. I think there's a gap of 3 weeks between one, but it's pretty much 4 weeks between them.
I think it goes 4-3-4.
Yeah. So we're in for an absolute treat of major season golf. I think we will round it up there, boys, because I need to go have a bath.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so
I might have a bath as well. And
Yeah.
I'll just clarify in a different bath, not just getting in the same bath with you.
Yeah.
That's
I think
great.
I just wanted to make sure that was,
we
abundantly clear.
we did celebrate. We celebrated hard yesterday.
We celebrated well. I
celebrated
think,
hard.
like say,
Well, yeah.
that was never going to happen again.
Yeah, not for me. I was
Do
absolutely
you want
knackered.
to shout out the IPA? The
I can't remember what it was called.
Church
something
something.
church Sunday church.
Death Church. Church of Death.
Need church.
I was on the Stella. Didn't want any of that
was on
American
the-
muck.
Dos Equis.
Yeah, that's
Dos
a keys.
Dos Equis.
That's Mexican, so that's all right.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, we're all right.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was great. I had a great time until I didn't.
Come on, Rory.
So let's end it there. Rory, congratulations. Unbelievable. We couldn't have been happy for you. Might just like throw in the clip of us celebrating at the end, see what that's like. But apart from that, huge thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring the podcast. As I said, if you do want to check out that deal, it's nordvpn.com/roughcut where you can get the deal on that.
Thank you
Great.
for Golf Breaks for getting us out here as well.
Absolutely. Stay tuned for this content, by the way. It's going to be coming in the next kind of 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Very
And if you
excited
haven't
about
watched the video that's just come out about Pete playing the old course in reverse, then please go over and watch it because it's a cracker.
Yeah.
That's a cracker.
It's
And do
a
you want
cracker.
to also like sneak peek where you're playing tomorrow?
Sneak peek it. We're playing at TBC Scottsdale tomorrow.
Without the stadiums.
No,
Well,
they're
they might
building
be,
it just
though.
for us.
They might just erected it. for a day.
We've had a call and they're making it again.
I'm going to be. It's going to be very interesting to see the 16th.
I'm just going to keep talking for as long as possible.
Oh,
Oh, no, your mic's cut out.
You've gone, your mic's gone.
No. Disaster. I cut it out.
did you?
I put a
What did you
time.
just do?
I put a timer and everything.
was
I
so
just,
weird.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
I just looked at the mic. I was like, no.
You just want me to shut up.
Done.
Sorry, I really will just want to say one more thing. Did we mention Oberg? Did we say how well he did?
No.
We didn't.
Nah,
Okay. Are
it's
we?
dumb, mate.
Is he going to win? Is he going to win a Masters?
He will win the Masters one day, yeah.
Okay.
When his software updates.
I was more worried of him than Rose at the time because they were kind of at the sort of similar point. I thought Aberg was going to go.
I'm with you, Kieran, and I'd love to talk to you for about 5 more minutes about this.
Yeah, I thought.
Pete, do you want to talk about it for 5 more
No,
minutes?
I'm done.
I thought that. I thought that Aberg was.
See you later, guys.
Wow. Well done, Rory.
You guys carry on.
Yeah. Well done, Rory.